As a progressive rock listener, I'm always looking for new-to-me music to purchase. Rare prog albums can sometimes be hard to come by. In this episode of my prog rock show, I'd like to share with you my favorite website to purchase prog rock and show you my latest haul. The website I'm talking about is DougLarsonImports.com. Doug Larson Imports doesn't just specialize in prog, but also psych, hard rock, and jazz fusion. My history with this website goes back over a decade to 2013. If memory serves, my first purchase was 2 CDs from the band 69. I could not find anywhere else. I made this purchase through Doug Larson's store on eBay and quickly learned that he had his own website. Buying from his website would get Doug around paying seller fees to eBay, and that savings is passed on to the customer. Makes sense to me. Upon visiting Doug Larson Imports, you will be greeted with a homepage that is updated frequently with new stock. I find myself visiting often just to see what new albums are available to purchase. I'm always excited to see what I might find. This isn't a website to just purchase from either. I actually use it as a source for discovering bands and albums I may have been unaware of. Doug Larson Imports is extremely well organized. You are able to do a typical search, but there are many different ways to discover different albums. Perhaps you are getting into prog from a certain country. You can click the country you are interested in for a thorough listing. Maybe you listened to an album from a certain record label that you liked, and you wanted to find other music from that label. There is a listing for that. Even simply looking up albums alphabetically can be done. For you vinyl aficionados out there, there are many LP albums to choose from. I went through quite a mini LP sleeve phase myself, and I found many there. Contacting Doug is very easy, and I've always gotten a quick response. Speaking from personal experience, I have never had an issue with an order for all the years that I've been doing business with Doug Larson Imports. So let's talk about my recent purchase. I purchased enough to qualify for a 5% discount and free shipping. Prices in general are very reasonable, as well as shipping cost. International shipping rates do vary. Speaking of shipping, items are sent very quickly and well packaged. Let's get to the unboxing. Doug was kind enough to put in a couple of surprises in here for me, so I'm really excited to see what they are. So let's take a look. I'm going to open this up right now for the first time. There we go. I'm going to save the surprises for last. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a Swiss band called Nautilus. So they came in the late 70s. This one's 20,000 Miles Under the Sea. And this was their first album. It came out in the late 70s. And we'll get back to Nautilus in just a moment. This is an American band called Ethos. And they started out, they're I think, like a kind of a 5-member group, and they kind of scaled down to 4 members in their second album. So again, this is their debut album. I have listened to this one. I do have it on mini LP sleeve, but I don't like opening those up. So I'm kind of glad I got this in the jewel case. And this is their second album opened up. They lost one member. I think they lost a keyboardist in this album. I have not listened to this one yet. Both of them are highly rated. I've read a lot of great things, and their first album is a great album. And I've heard a little bit off of this album, but I'm excited to hear this, and I probably will be opening this one up. So this is the second Nautilus album, Space Storm, and I heard it's not as good as the first one, but probably still okay. This came out in 1980, so they kind of came late to the game. So that could probably influence the music as things were changing in the early 80s. But again, still excited to listen to this and hear what they have to offer. And I hear they're kind of kind of heavy at times, but proggy. So kind of a little bit of mix of things. So should be interesting to hear. So the next band that I'm kind of getting into here, kind of pull these out and kind of do them in order. Bebop Deluxe, and I kind of got the albums in the middle of their catalog. They kind of started out as sort of a glam pop rock band, and then went more into prog. And I'm kind of hitting their prog era here, and then they kind of finished up as more as a new wave type group. So I have Sunburst Finish, which is supposed to be a fantastic album. Then the follow-up to that's Modern Music. Again, this is more along the prog vein of things. And then also a live album, so Live in the Air Age, which also is reviewed very well, so I'm excited to hear this as well. So I'll let you know how these are. And then kind of a rare album to come by. Argent's basically their last album, Counterpoints. So I've been getting into Argent and curious how this one is. It's kind of more of a mini LP sleeve. I think this was a Korean, on a Korean label. So we'll find out what this is all about. And how'd this get in there? Love Beach? What? No, I'm just kidding. He didn't put that in there. All right, let's take a look at a couple of things. This is a lot of the stuff that I showed you is from Paisley Press, the Nautilus and Ethos albums. So we sent a couple other ones from Paisley Press. So this is Ariel. I know nothing about this group, but I am definitely excited to hear it. So what do you got here? The Ballad of Kid Rock. Well, we'll see what that's about. And Open Up the Door. Is it Jack Hammond? So another one that he put in here, Doug put in here for me, and I had no idea it was coming. So thank you, Doug. I really appreciate it. So I like to thank Doug personally for allowing me to do this and sending me some extra stuff. So I'm very excited. So I highly recommend going to DougLarsonImports.com. And I'm going to warn you ahead of time. It's going to be difficult not to purchase something. There's just so much stuff and things that you probably didn't even know exist are there. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I thank you for watching.